Well, the Democrats are screwing with DACA. So now I'm not going to sign anything until they stop screwing around and act like adults. He can try to get the moral high ground here.
And so people know DACA, deferred action for childhood arrivals, and you'll hear people saying, the dreamers. Gene, we're all dreamers. You know what I mean? Like, why do these people from other countries all of a sudden get this title dreamers, and like somehow their life's goals are now more important than someone who was born here? Donald Trump outmaneuvering these people every day. He's putting the Democrats in the position again. Like, remember when he did it with the NFL protest, Gene? Like, the left basically had to defend people who were kneeling during the national anthem, and it really was embarrassing, and it really it really showed what the left stood for. He's doing it again, Gene, with immigration now. He's forcing the Democratic Party to basically, they may actually try to shut down the government. They may actually try to stop military spending for what? To save DACA? To save something that has no benefit for an American citizen. Zero for an American voter. Zero. So brilliant, Donald Trump, brilliant. Keep exposing them, forcing them to show who they really are for and who they really are trying to help. He
did the exact same thing with tax reform. He made Democrats vote about giving back money to the American people. It's just add that to the list.
What I'm shocked about, I don't even know why I'm saying I'm shocked, but there's some federal judge somewhere again is saying that now President Trump cannot pull the executive order or executive action that President Obama put into place that established this deferred action, that President Trump cannot reverse it. Like, this is why I hate lawyers, Gene, and I hate the judicial system, and I hate judicial review. That on its face makes no sense. If you have the power to initiate something, how do you not have the power to revoke it? It lies with the executive branch. This is not a law passed by Congress.
It's the biggest question mark ruling I've ever seen in my life. So it's okay for a president to circumvent Congress on the issue because they never proposed any law. They weren't given an opportunity to propose any law to submit to the presidency. The president can just circumvent the government, can circumvent and make that policy, but the same president can't ramp it down and give Congress the opportunity to make the policy. It is the most cockeyed, backwoods decision, purely political decision, that I could think of that we've seen in a very long time. And there have been quite a few. Let's just say that. You know what, Russ? First of all, congratulations for getting through the whole segment without saying the actual word. Good on you. Good on you. That was good on you.
Yeah. I have it written on this paper with a slash through it. Do not say this word.
Well, thank goodness.
Although it's all true, Gene. You know it's true.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I'm booking a trip to Haiti anytime soon. No one is. You hypocrites, you.
Well, just to round off that part of the discussion, Russ, and maybe we'll end on this because this involves a little bit of shameless show promotion. I ended up tweeting out, remember I talked about that whole conversation with Joan Walsh, will you move to Haiti or Norway, whatever? Let's round that out. I actually tweeted out to her saying, I wonder if Haiti is ready for the influx of offended Americans like CNN's Joan Walsh getting ready to move there. And put up the video of her. And
I'm trying to see these asshole countries. What's their immigration rates of Americans moving to those places? Like, come on. Come on.
Absolutely.
You don't leave a good country. You only leave. Let's just. Gee, this will be the last thing I have to say about this.
Sure.
To me, the bar on whether or not your country's an S-hole country is if you are willing to float across the Atlantic Ocean in an inner tube of some type to escape it. Guess what? Your country just might be an S-hole.
Just might be. You know, when Sally Cohn called them, like, you know, violent-ridden. People from El Salvador, 200,000 of them were leaving from war-torn, violent-ridden, poor, below-poverty countries. And someone tweeted back and said, yeah, there's a name for that sort of thing. Listen, we're going to take a break. We've having too much fun here on the show. When we come back, we're going to have Erin Cruz on the show talking about her new book and whether or not she's going to be running for Senate in the United Socialist Republic of California. Gene and Russ, Behind Enemy Lines, will be back right after these brief words. If you're a long-time listener of the show, or maybe this is your first time listening, you can probably tell that me and the gang here, we like to have our share of fun, whether it's on or off the air. We talk about 2-drink minimum radio and no medication Wednesdays or whatever day it may be. That's why when we found the people at Less Government, More Fun, we knew it was a match made in heaven with this show. Folks, we live in a time where government is out of hand. Our founding fathers did not intend government to be all-consuming in all parts of our lives. That's why we are telling you to go to lessgovmorefun.com, check out the website, check out the swag. What the people want is less government, more fun. Pass it on, make it happen.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air. Gene Baradelli, back behind enemy lines. Joining me on the line right now, it's a pleasure to welcome to the show a good personal friend. Well, you know, one of those internet friends that you always have, especially in the conservative movement here. She is the author of Revolution America, Communication Toolbox for the Modern Conservative American Woman. She's also considering a run at a certain California U.S. Senator who we wrote a nasty piece about Newsmax. I'm talking about our friend Erin Cruz. Erin, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And thank you for all the conservative viewers and listeners who follow you and stay in touch with what's really going on in the nation. It's so important to stay plugged in.
Oh, absolutely. We have the best fans in the world here on the show. I totally agree. but let me say this. This book that you wrote, the title obviously says it's targeted to the modern conservative American woman. Do you feel that those people who are, you know, some of the best people in the world, I love conservative women, as I'm sure many people do. Do you feel that they are more susceptible to attack, I guess, from, you know, those who are more progressive and saying, well, you're a woman, why aren't you with us?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and it's great that you bring that up. Really, you know, the title of my book, I wrote it because I really wanted it to reach a certain segment of the population, the conservative woman, you know. But honestly, anybody can get many, many things out of this book. It's about communication, so everyone will benefit, man, woman, young adult. But specifically, I wrote it because I am a conservative woman, and specifically, I also wrote it for conservative women because I do think they're in a place here within the United States and especially in California where the political environment, even from workplace to home front, is just so abrasive. And you never know if touching somebody wrong, saying something wrong, you know, complimenting someone, or, you know, getting together after work, or just saying the wrong thing to the wrong person, you know, if you're going to be chastised for it or politically attacked for it, or if your family might suffer from something, you know. And I think that if we can become more revolutionary in our communication and our ability to interact with one another, we can do great things in our family, in our community, and at work. And so that's why I wrote it, to try to help bridge the gap in communication, not just politically, but socially as well, for women, conservative women specifically.
Now, how much of this is based upon personal experience and, you know, things that have happened in your life?
All of it.
Okay.
I'm going to cut you off right there. All of it. It's about 18 years of experience in the business world, also in political activism. So 10 years about in the business world, and then about 8 years in political activism. So I basically take my training from the ground up in business, from all aspects, all technical training I've received, interactions with individuals. I've polled people. I'll talk about that a little bit through my research for the book. And then I take my political activism, you know, Tea Party movement, interacting with conservatives, different community activism in the home, outside of the home, out on the streets, and I share how, and I kind of blend them together to help people understand how we can be more effective. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense, and
Absolutely,
it's a lot.
It makes sense.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things that I think people are lacking. I mean, I feel that everyone in the conservative movement could use the assistance in helping to find their own voice in how to not only respond with confronted with progressive positions, but also to just better articulate what's really in their heart already. They may not be able to put it out there, but, to be able to write it a certain way, or to be able to say it a certain way, or to interact with someone a certain way. I mean, I take for granted that I'm a lawyer and I've had training in my presentation and my articulation, that I think that everybody should be like this, but books like this are so important for everybody else.
Well, that's part of it. And I thought, I was, for people who don't know much about me, I was married, and my husband passed away 4.5 years ago from cancer. And I thought, what do I want to do with my time? I really needed to focus my energy, and I thought, what better thing can I do except to take my experience, bundle it up, and share it with other people. Now, this is outreach, people. This is I want to help you. And I also, this is the first of 4 books, and I'd really like to do a teaching platform on it and really work with women, educate women, young girls, teenagers, and help them better their lives and strengthen their communication skills. And one thing that you brought up that was interesting about being an attorney and not really realizing so many things that you've learned over the years and skills that are transferable to other people. When I wrote this book, it's really about looking at oneself, examining your life, examining how you identify other people, be they conservative or liberal or what have you, and looking at your own life and examining yourself and identifying who you really are. Because once you know who you are, you can then identify certain attributes in other people. But if you don't know yourself intimately enough, if you really don't understand the complexities about yourself, you're not fully equipped to be a good communicator, an effective communicator. And that's what we need. That's what we need in order to grow the conservative movement, to raise up children in the way that they should go in their lives.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. 4 books, though. That's a very ambitious undertaking. It's hard for me to articulate a blog posting, and you're working on 3 other books. That's absolutely amazing. What made you want to take on such a huge project?
Well, I talk about this too in the book. I have a fire in my belly burning to really reach the nation and impact lives. And our people are hurting right now. Families are polarized. Somebody's liberal, somebody's conservative, and suddenly, somebody else, from Obama to Trump, we have a presidential change, and families there's a disconnect there. That shouldn't be the case. And so I know I wrote this well before that. I started this project 3.5 years ago. But I think part of it was I just wanted to help because I saw the divide even under Obama. A conservative just feeling like they didn't have a voice. They weren't able to really get through to people on what they were seeing going on within the government and their families and their communities and at work. So I think these books will help. I really do.
Oh, I absolutely believe the books will definitely help. We're talking to Erin Cruz, the author of the first of 4 books, the first one being titled Revolution America, Communication Toolbox for the Modern Conservative American Woman. I just want to transition real quick because one of the ways we communicate here behind enemy lines, we say we're from the People's Republic of New York, but you're in the United Soviet Socialist Republic of California. Give me a glimpse of what it's like to be there.
Harsh. I'm going to agree with you right there. We are not. Yes, we are in the midst of a huge divide here in California, but there are a lot of silent conservatives and Republicans and independents and libertarians here who just have sat by and let this state go in the wrong direction. And we're about ready to change things up here in 2018, especially after what we saw with Donald Trump taking office in 2016. We have momentum, so we're going to change that up.
All right, well, let's talk about how you intend to possibly change things up. Is it true or not that you are considering taking a run as a Republican for a statewide race against Dianne Franken Feinstein?
I can't believe you say that way. Well,
I'm from Brooklyn. I say whatever I want whenever I want, So
Feinstein. Well, it's